Hello everybody, this is Mark Ricketts, President and CEO of National Church Residences. I'm going to make a real obvious point of wearing this mask because I want you to be reminded that these masks are a big deal. They're a big deal for you, whether you're at work or at home. I want to encourage you to stay committed to mask wearing, to washing your hands, and to remain socially distant. Those rules have not changed in our culture, let alone in our workplace. So I want to encourage you that way. The last time we were together, we were sharing the results of our employee survey, at least the participation results, and we were celebrating hitting 90% participation again this year, the same as last year. The year before that it was 81%, the year before that it was 53%. So we've seen a remarkable improvement in participation. Frankly, that's just you caring enough to fill it out. And perhaps because we gave you that additional day vacation. I don't know what the motivation was, but thank you in any event. We have an organization called Quantum Workplace who does the survey work for us, and they have told us that our participation levels are the highest in the industry. Literally, all the employers that they use, it's something well over 1 million employees that they survey. Our results for our organization are among the highest. Thank you for that. But we also want to have favorable results, right? We're kind of hoping that the survey reveals that our staff is more and more appreciative, more and more engaged. So we look at something called favorability. The same organization, Quantum, comes back and gives us data to ourselves, and this year has told us that our favorability score is up dramatically. 88% of our workforce is engaged, highly or moderately engaged as an employee. 88%. That is higher than our peers in long-term care. It is higher than our peers in the hospital industry. It's higher than other not-for-profits. It's higher than any organization, for-profit or not-for-profit, of a similar size. Beating the average isn't what we're looking for. We're talking about being in the best category, being in the top-performing category. And the highest performers of all employers in the United States are at 91% favorability. We're at 88. We're that close to becoming elite in that status. And I'm so appreciative of having this outcome. And I'm glad that the work environment is so favorable for you. So what were the most favorable items? Well, 90% of you responded favorably to your commitment to the mission. Literally, you love working here. 90%. Can you imagine going any place where 90% of the people say they love their job? That's National Church Residences. That's your response. That you take great pride in working at this organization and stating it by name. I do too, by the way. That's exactly, people ask me where I work and I say National Church Residences, and I'm smiling. However, as we look at the data, there are also some areas where while we increased, every single question that we asked showed a favorability increase. There are those where the actual raw score still leaves us to pause thinking we can do better. One of those areas is in your perception of career growth and career development opportunities. That's not high enough. We need to invest in that so you sense that this is a place where your career can grow. And that there was a question about your perception of equal pay or sufficient pay. While it's a great improvement, again, it wasn't one of our highest scoring items. And then lastly, recognition. That there's a sense that the employees think that our ability to recognize you, not only for a job well done, but just show appreciation, that score needs to be higher. There are some areas with great improvement. One of the questions that we ask you is, do you feel as though the senior leaders value their staff, the workforce, as the most important mission item? And that went up dramatically, that you sense that we were showing appreciation or value better than we ever have been before. Interesting, one of the greatest favorability gains was in perception of pay. In other words, while it was one of our lower scoring items, it was also one of the highest improvement items. Perception is reality, I'm sure, but perception of pay being both a low scored but a great improvement just tells me what we did last year worked. Just do it again. Figure out a way for people to know that the pay that we're offering is fair in the industry and supports a good work-life balance for you. Another comment that you made was that the culture here is supportive. My guess is that ties to the fact that we said take time off if you're sick. The safety of our employees, maybe it's the use of PPE, you felt like we supported you well. In any event, that was a very good score. You might also recall that we added questions about the COVID-19 outbreak. 4 or 5 questions that allowed us to get a sense for how we behaved. One of the lower scoring items was about whether or not we were prepared. Only 60% of you thought we were prepared. Frankly, that's probably true. That may be true of every employer in the country, but COVID-19 took us by surprise, and those immediate changes, constant changes for almost weeks on end, wore us all out. But you also felt like we responded well. Again, high numbers. I think it was 85% of you believed that we responded adequately, timely. I really love that. And that your supervisors have been supportive through the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm glad to know that. Finally, we also added some questions about workforce diversity. The results of the survey do indicate that we do have workforce diversity and that they have different survey results depending upon their ethnicity, on their gender, on their race. So if we study it more carefully, we can see there's pockets where there's subgroups of our employment base that aren't responding to the questions equally. It gives us insight. It tells us where we can do some work, do some improvement. We believe we have some work to do in diversity, that's for sure. The survey results reveal that. Our anti-racism task force is active, responding to what we see in the survey and what we've received back for you from comments from our podcasts, individual communications through committee members, and we're making recommendations that will be implemented here in the next 9 or 10 months before we do another survey. And gosh knows we want to be able to see an improvement in that area. The key focus areas for us from this survey are 4. One is to focus on your career growth, your career opportunities. Secondly, to focus on diversity and inclusion. Third, to focus on talent management. And that is about promotions, internal promotions. People feel like they're getting adequate training to be able to grow and also to recruit people, the best in class, to come work at our organization. And then finally is employee engagement. You feeling like you're in the right spot. 88% of you say you are. Good, I want you to stay. And I want the remaining 12% to feel more and more engaged. This is a great place to work and I want everybody to feel that. It's just a preliminary report. Stick with me. We have much more to learn and talk about in the coming months. So be safe and stay home, everybody. Thank you.